Hello, I'm here behind the camera. Sorry. Hello, I'll be Wednesday, then it's Friday, and then next Monday I can't do the class because I've got an appointment at the hospital which I can't refuse because I've been asking for it for a while, all to do with my vertigo. Okay, so that's next Monday. When I got the letter this morning at 1 o'clock, would you believe? Okay, so we'll I could put something on, but you're going to get the 12 classes anyway. Alright, well today we're on Indian ink. I do like using Indian ink. This is one we did a while ago. The idea is not to go too dark with the ink because it's black and it's actually waterproof, so you need the waterproof stuff, which is the dragon, which is the, not the dragon, the spider. If it's the dragon, it's not waterproof, okay? Winsor Newton. You can use acrylic ink or you can use acrylic paint, black, watered down. Anything that's very dark. Can't get the stuff off. Not opened it for a while. So we're just using Winsor Newton black acrylic inks, shellac, the old stuff on it. Anyway, and you put that in a palette, big palette, put a little drop of ink in there, and then mix the ink with water. Okay, you see me? I realise I'm a bit high up. So you mix the water with the ink to get the correct tonal value. You can add salt, textures, whatever, and then once you're happy with your painting, with the ink and your drawing, then we can glaze it with colour. The flowers themselves are white, yeah. We've got bits of blue in there because of the shadows, and you can see the contrast. We use a bit of whites as well for the outline. You're going to need some tissue to dab off. It's working quite quickly as well because you don't want the ink to dry, because once it's dry you can't lift it, so you have to paint over it with opaque white. We don't want to do that, we want to leave it transparent. So that's the idea behind it. The less you do to them really, the better they look, especially flowers. So we're going to sketch it in pencil first, and then use a pen, and then go back to pencil, and then we'll get some like wax, and we'll just put it on the very edges of some of the petals where you're getting the highlights. Okay, the light is coming from the right hand side. This one's nearly pure white, so you're getting everything on this side light, and that's the composition as well. So everything on the left hand side is that golden section, which is the third in, yeah, and the third up, third down. So it's it gives us that interest where you get the darks against the lights. So that's your composition, looking at your golden section, if you like. I've got 2 jars of water. One's for the ink and one's for the watercolour, okay? Because we need to clean the palette and clean your brushes later. And then we'll just glaze it on, quite quick, lovely. It's pouring down here, don't know what it's like near you. So we don't need to go out today. Don't need to go out anyway. I hope everybody's fitting well, and that it's lovely when you see people online. I know Brian's not been well, he's been a bit down. Oh, you're okay, Brian? And people are actually kind of talking to him, and it's lovely to see the interaction online, just as though you were in class, because that's what you'd be like in class anyway. But probably wouldn't know actually, but you know, if someone's been ill or they feel a bit low, we can kind of boost them up. Yeah, get painted, keep yourself active. That's the main thing. You know, if you're not doing keep fit and running around like that, just do something else. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as you're actively doing something. Else you just get bored out your tree, won't you? Sat at home doing nothing. So you need to kind of be active, even out there, voluntary. I know one of the ladies who's come to Greenmount, my sister-in-law saw her today. She took her mother-in-law to have her injection, and she's volunteering as one of the I don't know which one it is actually. So Julie says the lady used to sit next to her in Greenmount. So I'm not too sure who it was because she said she didn't know her name. So yeah, keep volunteering and doing your thing. Anyway, we'll get on with this. Probably an hour or just over. No, it won't take too long. This, I don't think. I don't want it to really, because we don't want it to be overworked. Okay. Yeah, and we'll keep it nice and loose as you like it. I do need to wear my glasses, so I need to find my little glasses. Here we go. Put them down everywhere. Forget where they are. Okay, ready to go. So, so that's similar. But it'll probably work out something like that. When I glaze it later, I use some cadmium yellow, burnt sienna. I got some alizarin and blue in here, and some phthalo green, iridium green. Yeah, I must say as well, people have done some really nice Venetian doors. Yeah, that they've put online. I mean, there's quite good painters now in this class, and it's I like to think that they have helped them to get to where they are, but I think a lot of people are just tryers and they just keep going, and they do get better. I mean, it's one of those things where, like anything, the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you're going to get. It can only work like that. Yeah, so you have to keep positive. Okay, I've got a spray in case I need that. I'm going to splatter water on it as well. Textures, so it's kind of the interesting area is here, more or less. If you look at this flower, it takes up half of your picture. This one, okay. This one that looks like a butterfly on the side is coming out from about here, and then we've got some in the background, just peeping out. This is a big leaf just coming in from this area. We don't really need to have it, but you can have the outline of it and some textures and splatter, and you can put some. You can make things up in the background. It doesn't really matter that much, but we're just going to sketch it out. So, like I said, we need to be at least over this area to get these this flower in, and all I'm going to do is draw the whole kind of shape of this flower first. Even though, you know, I could see a few petals and things like this, try not to do all the petals individually, trying to do them as one, and then some shapes just like that. This is the centre, which is in that area, so you want to put a few kind of like little, and it's yellow in the middle actually, this one. I have got the original, and then we've got these shapes around the centre, looking at kind of the shapes that these petals create, like that, and then, you know, you're just coming out from that and creating these little areas of going into the centre. So as you're coming around here now, we've got things that overlap as well, so, you know, just keep it kind of really simple. So just nice and loose. This is the one, if you keep getting lost, you know, just go back to where you were, and then we could just carry on. So this is the flower that looks like a butterfly. It's lovely, lovely shape, and you get in the centre here, and then we're coming around this. You can make that quite a bit bigger if you want, which actually joins on then to the shape of the leaf, which is coming from this direction. Okay, and the jagged edges of that leaf. If you want to put it in, that's fine. If you don't, and then over this side, we've got the top of this flower. So I'm just going to have to. If you look at the petals, they kind of, you got rough edges, yeah. So we want to keep the rough edges and not just have them pretty, lovely and smooth. Again, some of them are pointy, so we just put that in, and then something there. This is where we get the rest of this big leaf. So yeah, this one, and then I can come from here. This is kind of overlapping this section. Alright. I don't think I've done this picture before. I've got absolutely hundreds of kind of pictures on my laptop. Just look at them now and again. So a lot of that is just going to be Probably can't see that, so I'll just do it in pen first. So here we've got the centre. So because I know where I am really now, I can just do it in pen, variegated bits like that. You've got shapes here as well, which are at the side. And then, but I'm not putting all the petals in like that. I just don't want to create these, these shapes like where the petals come out and then they disappear as they get to the centre. So we've got these lovely kind of round areas where the little buds are, stamens or whatever. Keeping it nice and loose. I mean, naturally, some people would take hours and hours to do all this. We've not got hours and hours, but I just want to capture the essence of the thing, not every little detail. All right. There we go. This lovely centre of this butterfly shape one, which is very nice. Which actually this one overlaps it slightly coming from here. That goes behind the leaf shape, which is there. And again, we don't have to do all the leaf. Again, we can just do the shape of it. They've got something overlapping here. These are in the background, so they're going to be darker. The petals over here, let them disappear, doesn't matter. We've got a lovely shape of this leaf, and then that's going up here, going off. Alright, here, just join up really, straight line, and then we've got this lovely curvy bit. You're going to miss a few out, it doesn't really matter, We've got a few shapes like that. I mean, I've got a big gap there, so I've not as much gap, so it doesn't really matter. And then just get these lines into the centre of the flower. Alright, nothing too fussy. And then here we can't see anything, it's just a big zigzaggy bit. And then a lovely light on the side of that petal. So some of these petals are like little cup shapes. Yeah. With the lights just catching things like that. Okay, I'm going to go about, hold on, just put that in, sorry. Where I've got one just overlapping another. Just need to see where that is before I rub it out, yeah. Because I'll lose it then. So you want to go about, especially the ones that are on the light, catching the light, yeah. You don't have to do everyone. I've not done that now. I am rushing, but don't rush. Curve, this one as well, nice curve. Centre. That's a lovely kind of straight angled shape there, you see? This shape. Negative space. Beautiful. There we are. And then I've got little things that I just need to put in that are like this little petal that's coming out from the centre. But there's quite a bit of light catching it. And then this one where, I'm getting that lovely light on these two. But when I put the wax on, I'm not going to cover all the picture. I'm not covering it all up. I'm just going to draw a line where it is. So looking at the picture, we can start with this one. So I'm just going to put a line, white wax, yeah, clear wax. We'll use black or any other colour. And then I'm just going to put that around the edges of your petal, and you can put it on the inside as well if you want, just around these little edges, and you can break the line up. You don't have to have it perfectly straight or anything, give it a bit more kind of naturalness, because they do disappear and come back. And then just on the edge of this, you're getting a bit, this is mainly in shadow, got a little bit there which I'll leave. So I've got these covered, I think, yeah. The only problem with it is you will lose where you're up to. So I'll move over to this side, and then I've got this one which is quite light, the one I've just drawn, which is like a curved shape. This one, it's a bit higher up on my picture, and then from here around the edge of that, and then over this side I've got quite a bit of wax here. It goes into this, it's actually part of the leaf coming out, and then you get the shape of this. A little bit of light there, bit of a curl, like that, and then we've got the curl here, just coming out, something like that, and then just on the edges of some of these down here, and they've got this kind of rib in the middle, which is catching the light, so you can put it on that, and then that's more or less it. Nothing too fussy. Even the bits in the middle haven't got white on them, so I wouldn't bother doing anything around there with the wax. Okay, beautiful. So if you look at the picture, squint your eyes, take all the black away and just look at the grey tones. That's the main thing. Alright, I have left some pencil but in the middle. And then we're going to use some ink. So get your ink. Just keep checking my videos, still going. So far it's been great. I've got a little dropper. So I use some ink, take it out. It only needs a small amount. You don't need a lot of ink. It goes a long way. And then I'm using a flat brush just to add a bit of water. Yeah, like that. Pick up the ink, mix it with your water. Get your tissues ready for dabbing off. If you want to paint around things, that's fine first. So if you want to keep something very clear, you can see, and then just have a bit of this this grey tone, which is going a bit around. Wherever I come over here, I can see it's going lighter. So I'm not just covering the whole thing with this one. I'm going to just add a tone. So it's quite a grey in tone. Just looking inside some of these shapes till I get to the centre there. Yeah? We don't want any kind of wax. We don't want any salt on this at the moment. I'm going to pull out from the centre like that, so you get these lovely curves and then these shapes that make the light just catching on the left hand side of those petals, but the middle section here is quite light. It's quite so I can add a bit more. Oops, too dark. I always have a cloth handy, and that can go around that section. You see, just around there. I can throw some salt in too. We can add a bit of texture for the lines on that one. These can go and disappear a little bit. Okay. Oops, a lot of my ink's gone like mad because of the water. Put it on the other side. Keep adding background tone. Doesn't really matter what you have in there, and paint around the shapes of these petals. You get that nice light, and you can blend some of these as coming out that. Okay. Yes. So keep, when you see the highlights, keep them lovely and bright. So I've left a lot of white in that area, and then the centre of this butterfly one is going to be kind of slightly darker, and that's slightly darker. Oops, got my brush. I'm trying to be quite, and then here we've got this lovely kind of leaf shape, and I'm going to just splatter in and scratch out for the centre of your leaf and whatever. We can add some texture here as well, because I'm going to use salt now in the background, just in the background areas. Yeah, so a bit of salt in your leaf as well if you want. And then from here, we've got a lovely big shape there, which is coming down here and that's going across the picture. So use the leaf and then use the tone of this this shape that picks out this lovely flower at the bottom, a bit of a petal at the bottom. I'm going to add just a little bit more dark on this because it's very wet. Okay, that will go like mad. Same here. If you've got wax, wax on, sorry, yeah, salt, it doesn't really matter because you can drop it in. So you get this really nice kind of shape. We can go a little bit darker. I find if you carry on using the same kind of brush, squint, just add these beautiful little shapes that you see in where one petal kind of overlaps into another. In the centre, you can do a bit of splattering. You can also put a bit of salt because you want some texture there. Centre of your flower, anything that's going into your petals, take it off. Put a bit on the petal there. I've got a hairdryer that we're going to use as well. And then we start to add thicker pigment, thicker ink. So because I've got wax here, I can paint around these petals at the top, and these are going to come out from. I can also use some glaze. So as it dries, I can make one area slightly darker than another area, like that, you see. So this lovely butterfly shape is going to stand out quite a bit. So it's coming towards me, and that's what I want. And you can see other things that are kind of, can't get that off now. That petal in the middle, I've got quite a steep angle. What you can see it on that, yeah. As you start adding slightly darker tones, like I said, we don't want to go black with the ink. We just want to create these lovely mid-tone values to dark, that's all. So here we can see where, and you can create, you know, stems in the background of your thing. We can use the water to do splattering techniques. It's a good idea when you're doing these, just to play about with some splattered water and splattered ink, just to see what you can achieve. It's good practice for your splattering techniques. You know, try not to cover the whites up. Just look at the shapes. Don't go too dark. And then as we get down to the bottom, so keep a kind of an area that you know where you're going to be. When you put a line in like that, just make sure you blend it into the background shape. So you get the bottom of the flowers here, like that. And then we just pick up anything that's a little bit darker. That's a bit too dark, like I said. So add water like that around the edges of some of these petals, just to give it a shape. Alright, and then this one. So where you start to see these darker shapes, like this one. And just put that in, and then come in from there. Yeah. Again, that can join up with the leaf. It's got a leaf there that's quite dark actually. It's quite, it's got rough edges as leaves. And then we can paint the darker bit around the centre of that leaf. But like I said, I don't want to actually make the leaf shape very dark. So look at the background as well. So we're looking around here, coming down here, I get this variegated thing. But you don't want to do just a big flat shape. I want to kind of, you know, blend into something like that, so you get other things happening. And your flowers are the only shape, the petals are the only shape that kind of come out from the picture. Okay. That's the idea. I'm using a small brush, but you don't have to. Just watch your clothing if you're doing this. You don't want to get it all over you. Just have a bit here. Again, round that petal at the top, which is not pure white, but you're getting a lot of light hitting it anyway. And then I can just kind of take out again these areas where that fold is. They've got a lovely fold there, and then that comes down at the back. Get your tissue, yeah, just lift off if you think it's a bit, we have lift off. If you think it's a bit dark, just lift it off. You do get these little lines like that. And just put a few in, but not many. Put them in while they're damp, slightly. You see? So you're getting the shape of a petal shadow over the top of another petal. Okay, that's the idea. It's like this, so you're getting a shape of one petal against the other. You say that, petal, how are you going on? This is where you don't really actually have to do a lot of petal painting. Petal painting. Yeah. Just the shapes of things. As you get to the middle, it gets quite dark actually here. Just in that position around, there's a few there actually. Those areas, and inside we have got goulash. Couldn't think of it then. A bit of goulash for if we need to put any lighter areas in that we've lost. Yeah, it's fine. A lovely curve here. You can just see these kind of shapes. And then these other shapes. That's it. Okay, and then we just add other things like, go a little bit darker here. Bring out the edge of this one, variegated, and then just along here, a little bit of shadow. Don't go too dark with the shadow. You can help it. This is a really dark area, but it will, just like watercolour, your ink will dry a lot lighter. So just put it on, let it dry. If you want to create these really nice shapes that you're looking at, okay? Okay, we're done for now. No time today. We do a bit of glazing, so we can glaze that bit, which is going into the centre, so you can soften that. And all this is kind of glazed. And some shapes. Keep using your ink. Keep doing the splattering. Textures in the background. I want this to be light and then dark and then light. Just having that change in contrast as well. Yeah? Dark area. It's nice to look at a longer painting where you're getting a dark, a light, a dark, a light. Yeah? Think about the composition when you're doing it. You don't have to, but just add a few more darks to get this initial shape. I do like some of these soft areas. We can put just these negatives, quite a bit of salt there. that's why. And around here. Just get the other side of the butterfly. Butterfly one. And there's beautiful flowers, yeah, like that. Yeah, scumble. Edge of the leaf. Edge of the leaf, nice and dark, but not dead dark, quite dark. We can just have bits of information. You can squirt that, let it blend, there's salt in it. At some point we're going to have to dry this off, so we're going to have to watch what you're doing before you add the next bit, if you know what I mean. Just picking out. It's nice to have some petals disappearing, but it's also good to have a bit of somewhere where the focus is, if you know what I mean. Like that, to bring out that curve without overworking it. That's the main thing. Alright, splatter, a bit darker. If you scratch it to a wet wash, you'll get a white lamb. And then scratch it to a drying wash, or a wet wash, it's very wet, you'll get a dirt lamb because it all runs into it. Yeah? So it's worth remembering all that as well. Like I said, it's the best time to experiment when you're doing this bit. And then we can just plays into little shapes. Yeah. Corners, I don't have anything light in the corner, takes you right away. And just to mention about Nolan, I've only found out, I hadn't seen him for quite a while. His sister rang me last few days ago, said he caught COVID in a home. He was in a home. He's had a lot of bad luck over these last few years. His wife dying and things, but I haven't seen him for ages. And that he died, passed away. So a lovely artist as well. I actually took over from him at Album Guest. He wanted to, and I'd just done my degree, and they wanted, well, he didn't have a degree, so, and he was finishing anyway, I think he was retiring. So I said I'd do them. And I didn't do watercolours at the time, but I was really scared, very scared, first class I'd done, you know, before I started my own. Keep standing back, you get a better feeling for the subject as well. Yeah, they used to use we always use earth pigments, because they used to put them under the tap and things and soften them and wash things off. Yeah, completely different to me because I use strong pigment, but that's that nice painter. I did a portrait of him and he bought it off years and years ago when he sat for us at Ashton Art Group. I'm going to try to get in touch with some of the members, but I've lost touch with them. Anyway, I think you know now because somebody's seen it on my page. I'm going to leave it, dry it, and then we're going to glaze it. How's that? as it looked through. Yeah, so that's what I want. I want the focus here, bit on that, and then it disappears. We can have a bit more. Because if you want to splatter, it's just like, just be very careful, and then add the shadow underneath that. All these little things that, if you put splatter marks, they work much better than trying to paint because they're more random. Yeah. So now that beautiful flower shape, I'll just pick that out actually. There's a nice area that. And then we've got one here as well. Okie dokie. What time is it? I'll just go around these a little bit. It's gone a lot later than I wanted. So they're not white, they just want to kind of recede into the background area. So, give me a hairdryer. What I haven't done is shown you a few of these little, put a blob on and blow, give you some textures that look like little areas of foliage or whatever. Put some in. You can do it with a straw, you can do it with your mouth. Don't pass out that. Excuse me. Yeah. These random marks actually make things that you can't really paint. So that's why we just kind of blow things and blend things together. Right. Where you get one area going into another. You don't want to kind of see where one area stops and another one starts, unless you're picking out things. Alright, so I'll dry that off again. Bring that out again. And they just kind of overlap. Yeah? Some things overlap others. Very slightly. Just while I'm at it, I will put some of these. You've got these little lines, haven't you? Just on there, and then it changes into a similar tone. Put those in. That's facing, yeah. Same with this one. Very, very light. You've got these lovely kind of little lines, and when you go over them, you still see them. You see, so they'll be very subtle changes in tone. This one, that way. Make sure it's dry. We got blobs. Because we're going to use paint for the rest. So less of an angle, because I want the paint to kind of stay if I can. The flatter you have your board, the less it will run, naturally. So I'll just keep it at that stage. I'm just getting rid of some of my black paint black ink off my palette. I've got my palette, which I sprayed earlier just to keep it nice and tacky, you see. And then we get your brushes, clean them, and then clean them in the clean water. You don't have to wash them because it can just be clean water. And I'm getting a yellow. I want some yellow. I want some burnt sienna. Mix that in another palette. Quite a bit of these. Then we're going alizarin. Yeah. Again. So I'm mixing these in my palette. You see? Lots of water. I'm going to use some ultramarine as well. A bit of meridian green. I'll just put this over here because I want to keep it away from the black. Lots of water. Big brush. We are going to use quite a bit of yellow, especially in the centre of this flower. So we've got this lovely warm colour, but we've also got this blue, like this, which changes into alizarin. Yeah. So again, I'm looking at the flower shape. Can go across. More alizarin. Keeping it kind of warm at the top, cool at the bottom. As it comes down. Get these lovely colours over here. So I do want the light to catch these, so I'm just going to add a bit of green here. It's trying to keep the colours flowing and blending on their own. Okay. So the easiest way to do that is put them on and then let them blend. Because we're using watercolour, we can lift the colour off naturally. I'm going to put some blue there, add some green. As well. Bluey green, alizarin as well. Get lovely purples. What you don't want to do is mix all the colours together because you're going to get a mess. Some more tissue. Just looking at this one, I want to just lift off a bit, and the left hand side of these where the light's catching, or the right, sorry. Like that. Get your blue. Just looking at the shadowy parts, and I'm adding some blue because that's where the blue shadows are on the petals. It's a very thin wash. There's lots of water. Okay, added to this. As you get to the centre, we can do the shadowy bits It doesn't matter about some of these ones. Doesn't matter too much. Just a bit more warm on this one. So letting the colours blend. Use some salt again in the background. Let it do its job. As long as you're not going to. There's a lot of water on, but there's not big pools of water, so I want to keep that. That's soaking in method now, so what I'll start to do is use paint. So I can use for the dark bits. This is why we don't go too dark. So where I've got these lovely dark areas around the petals like that, I can do detail. You see? So it's a bit of blue, a bit of red, use green as well, so it's purple. So as you're coming around here, we're picking out the shape again of that. You're going to lose a bit because you knock it back. So you're knocking the thing, knocking it back a bit. That's the idea. Just adding the darker tones, which is negative space. Yeah. If it's very shiny, it's very wet, so don't add too much. You can add green and blue. I love turquoise actually. Just at the top of the picture, you can leave some of these highlights. We've got colour blending, paint around that. Creating textures. I'm just going to paint around the flower really, dead easy. Giving it that like variegated edge, that rough edge. And then the very sharp darks. This is where we do go kind of dark, yeah. So we're bringing out the edges of some of these petals. Because it's like a cup. Okay. Not them all, just a few. Stand back. Let them blend into other things, like you could have stems there, like that. Around the edges of anything that's just coming out from the background. It's lovely dark here, red and green, more green over this side. Just to bring out the top of that flower. That's water, more pigment. This bit. So there's things happening there, so I want to keep these little shapes, you can see. As you kind of get over this side, bring it at the tops of those flowers that are in the background, so I keep them in the background. Don't forget, you're supposed to look at this from a distance. So you have to keep standing back so you can see the shapes come up here. textures. Variegated leaf. A lot more of this green. It's quite dark and it's quite wet here. It's a bit of a we can use goulash to put light areas in, can't we? So the stems in the middle need to be white, light, warm, dry, sorry, can't get my words in. And I make some gold. Gold is yellow and sienna. It's quite nice, light tone. And then we can splatter over that later. Just want that to dry a little bit. We can use some blue. Keep your blue transparent. Just to pick out, again, some of these. Not too many, but just a few shapes. I mean, actually, you don't really need to pick out too many shapes. You could mix your ink with it if you wanted. I'm going to pick out some of these little buddy things, these little, while it's damp, so that it will blend and you should end up with a shape of these little round buds. Yeah. You can use the goulash later. Goulash as well. Stand back. Quite dark in the middle. It's a bit wet yet. So I'm just looking for any kind of sharp, dark edges that I could put in. Just to pick out something else. Is that then? Time is it? Oh, bags of time. Bags of time. Just a little bit of blue there. Right. All we don't want is to lose the transparency because it's really important. So where you've got this, the shadows of the petals, we've done them in ink, see, so it's still got the transparency underneath. It will go lighter. It will go lighter. Goulash in places. Can't get my goulash top off. So I'll put a bit of that out. It's mixed media now because it's Indian ink, watercolour, and it all splats together. Alright, so we're just going to add some more texture, if you like. Okay, delivery. Delivery man. You always come between 1 and 2. Something like that. If they don't step, that's when they get it. Putting marks in that's kind of random kind of things that's going on around the petals, flowers. Because I don't want to do too much to that. As long as I've got that cup shape, I'm quite happy with that, yeah. If I use my gouache, I'll pick up a bit, a touch of yellow, I can mix it in. Because some of these buds, you can just touch them like that. Stain them. That'll stand out a bit. You can also use it in the background just to add some contrast. So we've got the white, have a bit of green with it. Got some more yellow and sienna here because that's the centre of that flower as well. Yep. It's all about bringing out the flower from the centre, adding colour, and this chaos down here doesn't matter too much. Okay, right, background. You want to paint a leaf, that's entirely up to you. The problem with painting a leaf is it needs to look like a leaf. You can paint a shape that looks like a leaf. Right. So the leaf is in the centre, and then you paint another shape, negative shape. That's quite, I like the way that's just disappearing. Again, a bit more red, just to get that lovely dark underneath the centre of your flower. There, I can drag that round here as well. Why am I whispering? I can drag that round here. Don't contaminate the colour of the petals, if you like. Yeah. A bit of white, yellow green as well. Put some of these. The more white you use, the more opaque it is. Yeah. So we can add kind of little light areas. Not a lot, not too many, into anything. Okay. And then we'll just add more dark. Just where you get this kind of jagged edge. It's kind of really like. So I've not put any wax on that, you see, so I can paint over that edge. And it's going darker and darker. But I've got wax on that one. And that's about, well, I won't say I'm finished, but that's the idea behind, because you put the tones on first and then you put your colour on last. So if you get your tones right, everything should be look okay. Isn't it? We do lovely kind of shapes there. Glazes, keep them simple. You don't want to take the colour off underneath. So if you glaze with a bit of blue, plenty of water, just glaze it, you can see, and stop. Getting a bit complicated. If you made a mistake and you want to put some kind of white back, then you can. A bit of light there, so I've got the wax here actually. On the folds or the petals that are kind of just peeping out like that. Topsail. I put it on quite thick, the gouache, straight from the tube. It's very bubbly. There's lots of cockles in it. It will go lighter. At this stage I usually let them dry. We can speed it up a little bit. Because every time you put the dark in now, it's just going to blend in with the rest of it. So we can dry it off a bit. See that the white leaf here has kind of disappeared, so I'm going to bring that back. Some thick paint. You can always put back things. finish with black again. So if you wanted to use some ink, the darkest part of the picture is in the middle of this flower, and you can just see the dark shapes around these little buddets. Excuse me. You don't have to use ink. You can use watercolour, because we want to get it really dark black, and we can use a bit anywhere else you think is appropriate. At the edges of things. Just slap it on. Slap it all over. Right, as long as you got the contrast there and it looks like a flower and it's budding and chaos behind it. That's about it. Like I said, I would probably carry on with other things. I just love doing contrast over the top, because that makes it again, it comes out from the picture. Just like the edges of a petal, for instance, or a stem disappearing, coming from somewhere, or the textures around things. But don't overdo it, it says. You can use your brush to create other petals. Okay, I'm going to take the tape off, leave it for a bit, and then probably I can also remove colour. I can add more. Right off. A bit hot in here now that I heard right. Probably a bit overworked. I mean, 2 hours is not 2 hours. An hour, over an hour. Always seems a bit too long. Give yourself a time restraint. Try and do it in an hour. So just get too fussy. Nearly throw the paper then, actually. And then stand back, look at it from a distance, see what it looks like. I don't do a lot of flowers. I like doing them this way because it's a negative shape painting, really. But yeah, quite happy with that. Thank you very much for watching. Have a go, put your work up, see what you come up with. It starts abstract, kind of semi-abstract, and you want the flower to kind of appear from all this chaos, and then you build up the chaos. around it. Yeah? So the pastel colours in your flower have not been touched since we glazed it with colour. You don't want to keep going into that because you'll lose those pastel colours. It should go a little bit lighter when it's dry as well. So we've got the shape of the petals, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and put your work on. I'll try and keep up with you. Some people putting them on at 11 o'clock at night and that, which ping when I went to sleep. But I can always put them on in the morning. Yeah. And I'll see you on Friday doing it's watercolour, cottage scene or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, we've not done a cottage for a while. Cottage in the country, be lovely. I'm actually doing a Zoom demonstration for Blackwood Art Group tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're doing a cottage in the country, so it's good practice for me. I'll be doing two. Okay, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.